Assalamu alaikum. This is Ashrful Islam. This is my BITP 2213 software engineering project presentation. The title of our project is E-Pharmacy Management System. The reason for choosing this topic is actually the day-by-day drug management of pharmacy is one of the hardest management system. Here we can see the laborer working longest hour dealing with installments and duty of patients. They even need to deal with reports and records like medication records, cleaning income, invoices, and so on. Doing this work, the physically request time is high, the manual mistake is high. Admit a customary management system, thus a few of them are utilizing pharmacy management system nowadays. On the contrary, online pharmacy is very helpful for all sections of peoples. It is also time saving. People can buy their drugs easily and make payment by online. Hence, online pharmacy has a lot of advantages. That's why we choose this topic. This is the end of my presentation. My another team members will continue. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Khalid Ali. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the type of project methodology. In this project, we used waterfall. Below are the following methodology for our project. Number one, the project scope stays relatively static, meaning cost and timelines can be determined early on in the project. Number two, by completing a full design early in the project, change to system stay minimal, meaning the cost of fix and alter design is kept low. Number three, a structured approach to a project means that everyone understands what needs to be done and when. This system can effectively plan their time over the fixed period. Number four, by having detailed documentation and designs, a project can lose key members without too much hassle, since the documentation describes in reasonable detail how any SME of the product or skill are needed to complete the work. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Israt Jahan. Our today's topic is about online pharmacy management system. I'm going to talking about testing technique. Testing technique is the method applied to evaluate a system or a component with a purpose to find if it satisfies the given requirements. Below are the following testing technique. 1. Equivalence classes. 2. Boundary value. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
In the previous slide, we have seen Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Habeeb E Sadeed from BITS. Now, in the previous slide, we have seen that Israt discussed that two types of testing techniques. One is boundary value analysis, the other is equivalence partitioning. Now, we will dive a bit deeper into details to look at how we used these techniques in your projects. So, to get things started, let's start with equivalence partitioning. So, for example, the password field. So, less than 4 is an invalid range, above 25 is a valid range. These refers to the number of characters we use in a password field. So if the number of characters is less than 4, it's invalid. If above 25, it's valid. Between 4 and 25, it's valid. So If we define and execute the test cases, we will have, if the password fields contains 2 characters, then the test will fail. If the password field contains 15 characters, which is between the range, I mean between 4 and 25, so this test case will pass. If the password field contains, say, something above 25, say for instance, as for instance 40, then this test case is going to fail. Similarly, we have also used boundary value analysis in our project. For example, we have 2 types of user, staff and admin, and if we want to conduct test on age field, on the field, I mean input field age, then we can conduct a boundary value analysis. Above or below certain boundaries, we will declare it either as valid or invalid. If we look at our test data, we will understand it more clearly. For example, in our case, the minimum boundary value is 18, the maximum boundary value is 56. So from our table, we can see the valid boundaries are 18, 19, 55, 56. So if our input in our test case 1, if we key in 17, which is 1 less than the valid boundary, so we will declare it as invalid. So our valid boundary is 17 and 18, and we key in 17 in our test case 1, which is 1 below our valid boundary, so we declare it as invalid. In our test case 2, we key in 18, which matches with our given boundary here, so we consider it as valid. In our test case 3, we key in 19, which is again valid, and this is also 1 more than a valid boundary, which is 18. 18 is already a valid boundary, and we key in 1 more than the given boundary, which is 18. So now our boundary is between 18 and 19. So 18 and 19 is a valid data. Again, 55. Let's key in 55, and this value is again valid because our boundary is between 55 and 56, and 55 falls within this boundary, 55 and 56. So our data is valid. And let's key in 57. 57 does not fall between 55 and 56, so it is invalid. So we have 2 boundaries here, 18 and 19. If any data that falls between 18 and 19, we consider it valid. Any data below beyond this range will consider invalid. For example, 17 is it doesn't fall between 18 and 19, so it is invalid. 20 is above 19 and it does not fall between 18 and 19, so it's invalid. In the same way, a data that is falling between 55 and 56 boundary, that is valid. So 55 and 56 is valid, but 54 is invalid and 57 is invalid. So that's how we conducted our test here. So this is all for the boundary value analysis. Now the reason why we will use configuration management plan in our e-pharmacy management system, we will look into that. The reasons are having accurate records of the pharmacy management system is essential, and it is very critical for IT infrastructure, especially in our system, which is e-pharmacy management system. And if we have configuration management plan, it means that we can rapidly detect and correct improper configurations that could negatively impact performance. Number 3, also, if we have strict control of our processes, we can define and enforce formal policies and procedures to detect certain identification, status monitoring, and auditing. Because it is a dynamic process and the document is changing, configuration management or CM plan will be very useful. And also it opens door for greater agility, and faster problem resolutions, enabling higher quality of service and reduce software engineering costs, which is very helpful for pharmaceutical industries. Again, the system is dynamic here, so we can detect problems at any given time, and we can update the document, and then we can resolve that problem because we can look into the document and we can see what problem we have. We can correct the document and fix it, and then we can modify the problem in the document. I mean, we can update the document after fixing the problem. Also, in number 5, efficient change management is very good. I mean, we can design the changes and we can see the visible changes in our document, and then we can update our system, and then we can update the document back. That's how we will make an efficient change management, and it is very good for our system. Also, quicker restoration is very possible. If we have change management system, we can restore the certain version of in the past, and then we can restore back to that particular version which we want to retrieve, and then we can again start back from that given point in time. So that's basically. Now coming to the configuration management plan. So this is how we will be using our configuration management plan in our documentation. So in each particular date, each individual makes an update. He will register his work in the documentation and in the form of configuration management plan. So we have seen, we have here, for example, like Ashrful improve use case diagram on 5th of May, and Israt Jahan also improved the test case on 5th of May, and Farah conducted equivalence partitioning testing on 6th of May, and Habeeb conducted he improved the test case on 7th of May, and so on and so forth. So this is how each one of our individual makes a change in the document, updates the document, and he registered his changes. I mean, he configured the changes. I mean, he or she registered the changes in this configuration management plan document. Moving forward, finally, Farah explained already the usefulness of waterfall model in our project. But if we are more specific as to how that waterfall model applies to our projects, so this is why? Because e-pharmacy management system will start with the project planning by determining users of the system. It will also determine aims and objectives of the project. After these, extensive research will be done to determine how to design an effective system as well as to review the current system. Then the design with an initial prototype of the system, and then we will refine it based on the suggestions or the survey of the people using the current system. So the phases of analysis, design, implementation system were performed iteratively until the users and designers of the system agreed on the final system specification. At this point, project could move to the final implementation phase, and this is very suitable. This whole process, this flow of activity is very suitable for our e-pharmacy management systems, and that's what we have felt. So that's why specifically we have opted the waterfall model to add to Farah. So this is how we justify the reason for adopting waterfall approach in our system. So additionally, we have our SRS document for our project e-pharmacy management system. So we can look at the purpose. This is our business context diagram. This is use case diagram. We have two types of users, admin and the staff. This is the structure chart for our whole system. We have this is the business flow diagram for the whole system. This is the flow chart for the whole system. This is the scope of the system. This is user characteristics. This is assumption, dependencies, and constraints. We have assumptions, we have dependencies, we have constraints. Under the section C requirements, we have the business requirements. We have the functional requirements: login, registration, update medicine, delete medicine or delete drug, make cells, add, generate report, make order. We have non-functional requirements. We have logical data diagrams, basic ERD here. User requirements, we have user requirement for staff, because we have two types of users, staff and the admin. We have user requirements for the admin. This is information management requirements. This is the system requirements. Under system requirements, we have system requirements for the staff. We have system requirements. This is the system requirements for the staff. This is the system requirements for the admin. And this is the justification of for using waterfall model we have just seen in the slides. Interface is not done yet. The other requirements, under other requirements, we have performance requirements. We have quality requirements. This falls under other requirements. And then we have the version history, which we used, which we have done using configuration management plan. For the requirements of our project, I mean, this is our SRS. In addition, we have this is what we are required for our final project. So this is our work breakdown structure. So, and then we go down, we have our Gantt chart, we have activity network diagram, and we have DFD level context diagram. We have DFD level 1. We have DFD level 2. And then we have test cases and testing techniques. These are the test cases, and as we go down, we will find the testing techniques, equivalence class, and this boundary value analysis, and then risk management, then hardware and hardware cost. And yeah, that's all. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. That's all. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.